Hi, I'm Hila. I'm a recent graduate of UCLA, and Hanukkah is all about candles. So my question is, what's the connection between candles and spirituality?
What does light have to do with spirituality? The truth of the matter is that of all things that exist in this world, that which is most sublime, we find throughout the Bible that which is the most sublime way of being able to relate to something other than our physical bodies, something that transcends physicality, is light. For the ancients in particular, they were not able to use technology to see the particles of light on a more specific level or deeper level. They didn't have the equipment, but they identified light as that which is a representation of all that is not physical. Truth be told, when God created the world, the first thing that we see in creation, the first thing that was revealed in creation was Vayom Elokim Yehi Or Vayhi Or, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. That light of creation is not something that can be replicated in a light bulb. The light of creation, we're told, was such that Adam and Eve were able to, with that light, they were able to see from one end of the universe to the other. So light doesn't mean the light of a room. Light means being able to penetrate, to see from one end of the world to the other. It means to be able to penetrate, to see something that's deeper than the surface. Light has that quality, that it runs through all that exists. It surrounds, it fills all of existence. So from the beginning of time, there was that light. That ability to use our spiritual eyes, instead of, imagine if we would judge our friends, we would judge our parents, not by our eyes, but the light of our eyes, meaning that we were able to see that person inside, through and through. That person's kindness, that person's struggles, that person's challenges. That's the meaning of light. You know, in Yiddish, when you see a child, you say, "Oh, es a lichtige Kind," which means this child is shining with light. You sometimes walk into a house, and there's a couple there, you know, an 80-year-old couple, and you feel in the house, there's a lichtige Heim. This house is shining with light. Again, it has nothing to do with electricity. It means that there's something that I can't put my finger on, I can't describe it, I can't identify it in common physical terms. I just know that it's real and I know that it's beautiful. So we refer to spirituality the same way that God did when He created the light of creation. And we're waiting for the time at the end when we're going to be able to enjoy what's called Oirei Shel Mashiach, the light of Mashiach, of the Messiah. The light of Mashiach, again, doesn't mean that the sun is going to shine brighter, but it means that everything we're going to look at is going to be shining brighter, because then our eyes are going to be illuminated with that inner light of truth. That's the meaning of light and spirituality. And Hila, in addition to that, let's go back to what you were asking about, the candles of Shabbat, of Shabbos, and Hanukkah. And why is it that we celebrate, especially Hanukkah? Hanukkah is all about light. You see, during the 6 days of the week, we'll start with Shabbat, with Shabbos. During the 6 days of the week, we unfortunately and understandably, we slip into a very, very plain and mundane way of looking at reality. We judge everybody and everything by how it looks to our physical eyes. And over time, we just don't see the light in things anymore. We get caught up in the encasement. But something happens when Friday, as the sun is setting, as it's getting darker in the world, one can begin to see things in a different light, to begin to see things in a different light. Therefore, we usher in Shabbat, we bring in Shabbos with the light of a candle to say, you know, King Solomon was very smart. And he said a couple of words, Ner Hashem Nishmas Adam, Ner Hashem Nishmat Adam, that the candle of God is man's soul. That means that when I want to see something in a soulful way, not in a physical way, when I want to see something for what it really is, I light a candle. Because my soul is the candle of God. Ner Hashem nishmas Adam. So when I want to be able to look at things from the perspective of my soul, a candle helps to introduce me into that world. It brings me into that world. Hanukkah is a celebration of the victory of spirituality over the empty physicality, the obsession with physical appearances that was the trademark of ancient Greece and of Western culture. Hanukkah is the victory of the inner light. That jar of oil that miraculously was able to stay lit we were able to use that for eight nights, and we have the 8 candles of Hanukkah that we light. That jar, the oil was in that jar that was sealed with the seal of the high priest. That means that you and I have within us something that's very holy, something that's very pure. Ner Hashem, Nishmat Adam, the soul of man, that is sealed with the seal of God. We don't always come into contact with that, but especially when it comes to Shabbat, when I'm trying to put the physical world behind me and stop looking at things in that way and to see things in a soulful way, especially when it comes to Hanukkah, when I'm fighting against the Greek interpretation of reality, which is completely heartless, cold, empirical. So when I'm fighting against that, I have to enter with a candle. I can't do it without a candle. That's the Ner Hashem. In that light, I see my light. Ba'orcha nireh or. Hashem, in your light, God, in your light, I'm able to see things in a different way. I'm able to see the lechtigkeit of a child. I'm able to see the light that's shining for my wife, for my husband, for my friend, for my parents. I'm able to see the light of Hashem's world that is so beautiful. But during the 6 days of the week, and when it's not Hanukkah, it's much harder to see that light.